It's your buddy Peace and Harmony here with you here today. What is seduction by a narcissist or a psychopath? How do we get enmeshed in this situation? How do we get taken over? You know, a lot of people really wonder about the seduction. What makes them so captivating? What makes them so different, so enthralling, so adventurous from your typical person who you might date or look into a long-term relationship with? Well, you know, generally, let's look at the healthy format, or really maybe the landscape of what a healthy relationship would look like. A healthy relationship we're talking about romantic relationships here. You know, between a guy and a gal, or even people who are, you know, homosexual, it should definitely begin with a little bit of a foundation of a friendship first, where it's two people coming together, you know, to become, who are each whole in and of themselves, and are coming together to create a stronger bond. So it's not where, you know, one is smaller, the other is larger. Oftentimes, you know, the narcissist or the psychopath, they're the one who's, you know, 10 feet tall and coming in to save the day. They have just this je ne sais quoi, this certain charismatic dynamic about them that usually most people find very attractive. And if you'll ask most people, you know, what do they think about the narcissist or the psychopath, they'll think that they're just this great person, they're really funny, they're very charming, and they don't really get what you get. They don't see what you see. They haven't been treated the way that you've been treated, and they have a very tough time believing you. So it's very oftentimes worthless to speak with somebody about the relationship with the narcissist or the psychopath who hasn't really been through the whole situation, the whole up and down, the whole saga of their relationship. And, you know, what is really so sexually captivating? What is the seduction all about? Well, oftentimes the seduction has very much to do, I feel, with their language and how gullible we are. Where we trust too soon, we dive in too soon. People, you know, tend to get swept off their feet. They're, I don't want to say ignorant, but they're blind to really maybe what this person is doing, or they're letting their boundaries be crossed too quickly. So if you look at the beginning of the relationship, it's a very, if you kind of look back in your memory bank, so to speak, and if you look at the time when you first met this one, was there a feeling of immediate connection? Was it like love at first sight? You know, is this the answer to my prayers? You know, that feeling of being swept off your feet is a wonderful feeling. However, it's not always the start of a healthy, or what I'm going to call, you know, symbiotic, mutually respecting relationship. And I think that's where the seduction comes into play, is because we're disrespected in sort of a respectable way, or the victim, the target, is disrespected in what appears to be a very respected way. And the disrespect, which I think respect is a very key component to a healthy relationship. There has to be a foundation of respect. Mutual respect, mutual understanding, mutual love and connection. But in other words, you know, I'm not going to be two-faced to you. I'm not going to disrespect you behind your back. So if we look at just that very, very first concept, it's usually that concept that's violated in the narcissist or psychopathic relationship. In other words, if we look at really what's gone on, the narcissist is usually, you know, deceived us. I think that's a key, you know, factor there. Is there's the deception. There is there's the use of a mask. In other words, they're one way to your face, they're another way in their heart. And I think it's that Jen just then begins to grow and cause so much of that confusion and division between two people, that conflict, and then like that kind of like divisiveness. Excuse me. The divisiveness, which is, I guess, other words for it are scam, feeling of being scammed, taking advantage of, it all comes down to disrespect. And that first disrespect might have occurred in a statement, it might have occurred in being blown off, it might have occurred in a boundary violation, but usually going through it, you never really saw that this was taking place. Sometimes the disrespect can be very, very blatant, and that usually, typifies us, or it gets, especially the person who's codependent, it gets us into overdrive, trying to fight our ground with them, and we're trying to battle it out with someone who's not going to respect us and who isn't going to hash it out. It's not going to get hashed out, it's not going to get worked out. But people generally who are humane in nature or caring and want the relationship to work, they're going to go ahead and try to get the relationship to work. We're going to try, let's patch it up, let's work this out, I want you to hear what my needs are. Let me work harder for you. I can make a better dinner. I can plan a better weekend. I can decorate the house better. I can be quiet during this time. I can go and see your events. It's the back and forth that, that we go through, trying to make things better for them. And then our end of the bargain end up shrunk until the point we're trying to settle. And, it's never a good idea to settle after being disrespected. You absolutely positively deserve and you need respect. Respect is what it's all about. And the seduction, I have a really, kind of a feeling that, there's a disrespect that's pre-calculated from the very beginning, when the narcissist or the psychopath begins to target this person, that they have an idea in mind that, and there's an animal of some sort over there. Hopefully it'll go back. It's like, yeah, I don't want to climb all over you. But the narcissist or psychopath, kind of knows I'm going to use you from the beginning. If you're, or target you from the beginning, or disrespect you from the beginning. Disrespecting meaning, I know this person's wants, I know this person's needs. I know that they want to have a family. I know that they want to be treated well. And then they kind of go, you know what? I'm not going to be able to provide that in the relationship, but I'm going to keep that under lock and key. And I'm just going to continue, and I'm going to continue to get my fair share of this person, because it's a power trip to me to be able to do this, and I get a rush off of taking advantage of people, not being in a mutually respectful dynamic where there's a mutual respect for people. And so the discard then comes when either they've been found out, you've exposed them, and they're like, okay, I can't be playing this anymore. The discard comes when they've lined up other supply. They can vacillate, they can move on very quickly, without any sort of remorse, regret, no strings attached. They're free as a bird. They have no qualms. They're not losing any sleep. They're not, going on blogs, how do I get over this person? They're not trying to learn about good, humane people and what's wrong with the good people of the world. What's wrong with you guys? Don't you get it? They get that they are able to move between relationships very quickly, and they get that they aren't hurt. They get that they are able to abuse without remorse. They are in a really different humane category than most feeling normal people. And I'm saying normal because, most people are going to want some sort of, companionship. They're going to want some sort of respect, some common terms, some common knowledge. So that's where the discard takes place. And if you're picking yourself up, lesson learned, as they say. But I hope that these videos are helpful to you to kind of identify, what you're looking for in a healthy relationship, and now kind of puts respect, mutual respect, somewhere on the front burner, see how that serves you. Hopefully you'll get a chance to try that out and keep us posted. But I think that has to be a new priority in relationships moving forward. Hope these videos help. Peace and harmony here with you here today. Please share and subscribe for more great tools, videos, and discussions. Make it a beautiful day.